Sawubona mngani, welcome to Zulu Lessons with Thando, the place for modern conversational Zulu language lessons. Take my course on zululessons.com. That's one word, zululessons.com. Today we're learning grammar, and this is going to be a series, so do not miss out. You need to keep up and practice. But you really need to work hard on memorization. That's really the big thing on this part of the grammar. Then after that, we move on to subject concords, tenses, all the fun stuff that will help you to speak and sound more like a native speaker. So let's begin. Asqali. I use and really truly recommend for any Zulu language learner out there, I recommend CLS Nyembezi's books and dictionary because he has done an outstanding job in his research. There is absolutely nothing you can fault in the work that he has done. This is the book that you should start with. Learn Zulu by CLS Nyembezi. It's a really amazing book, my friend. He really breaks down the grammar. You can find it on Take-A-Lot website and on Amazon. There are 8 different classes of nouns in the Zulu language, and we are going to learn their prefixes now. So there are 8 different classes of nouns in the Zulu language. So you will be able to understand, and when you see a word, then you will also know how you would make it plural and what subject concord to use and what possessive pronoun to use. You put it into past, present, or future tense. So I'm going to now just list all the different classes for you from 1 to 8, and then we will then go into each class. So class 1 nouns, the singular prefix is or umu, or umu. So words like umuntu, which means a person, a human being. The plural for that would be aba, as in abantu, people, abantu. Now the other one on this class is you would say, for example, umlungu. Umlungu means white person. Just a side note on this one, my friend, it is not a derogatory word. I've seen some videos on YouTube where people do mislead others and say it's a derogatory word. It is not. It simply means white person. Umlungu, one white person. Abelungu, many white people. Abelungu. So that is the first class. So these nouns on the first class are personal nouns. And you will notice in isiZulu, the plural is shown at the beginning of the noun, not at the end. For example, in English, you would say one teacher, many teachers. So the plural, you will see it at the end with that S. However, in isiZulu, you see the plural at the beginning of the word. So for example, umzali, one parent. Many parents, abazali. Or umlimi, a farmer. Umlimi, singular. Abalimi, plural. Another thing about these nouns is you will commonly find them made up of verbs. A lot of Zulu nouns are made up of verbs. Umzali comes from the word zala, to give birth. So umzali is then the noun made up of that verb. For example, a teacher or a preacher, umfundisi. It comes from the verb fundisa, to teach, fundisa. But the noun is umfundisi. So that's now the teacher. So to teach, fundisa. The teacher, umfundisi, or a preacher. Umlimi is a farmer, which comes from the word lima, which means to cultivate or to plow. So the verb is lima, and then the noun is umlimi. Another example is umaki, which means a builder. which comes from the verb akha, which means to build. Umakhi is one builder. Abakhi, many builders. So do you see that, my friend? On this class 1, umzali, singular. To make it plural, you would say abazali. Umfundisi, one teacher or preacher. To make it plural, you would then say abafundisi. Umlimi, one farmer. To make it plural, you would say abalimi. Umlungu, one white person. To make that plural, you would say abelungu. Umakhi is one builder. To make it plural, you would then say abakhi. Now, the abe plural prefix, that one isn't so commonly used. Really, the one word that you would find yourself saying it mostly in is abelungu. Let's try and put these nouns into sentences. Umakhi wakha izindlu. The builder builds houses. Umakhi wakha izindlu. Umholi wezwe laseMzansi Afrika uCyril Ramaphosa. Umholi means leader. So the leader of the country of South Africa is Cyril Ramaphosa. One leader is umholi. Many leaders abaholi. Abafowethu bancane kunami. My brothers are younger than me. So the singular is umfowethu, which you would remember we learned when we were learning the family members' names. Abafowethu are many brothers. So just to recap, friend, class 1, the prefixes for singular are and umu. To make them plural, you would say aba or abe. Now please go over this video and practice this, my friend, and then have a look at your dictionary. I hope you do have a Zulu English dictionary. If you do not have, get yourself one. Let me show you the one that I love so much. And yes, of course, it is by CLS Nyembezi. It is this one, friend. It says Scholars Zulu Dictionary. He really did a wonderful job in this. So please get yourself one. Now go through the dictionary, just page through, and you will see words that start with and ummu. And then you will then know that, oh, this word, then when I make it plural, it is aba. Here are the 8 classes of nouns again to jog your memory. We are focusing on 1A. So in this class, we also have another category of nouns. Class 1A has 4 different categories in it. It's proper nouns, which are people's names, and kinship terms, your relatives, your family, and foodstuffs, and miscellaneous names, more especially borrowed nouns. So for example, on the proper nouns, for one person you would say uthando. For many you would say othando. But this is how that works. So this one really shows a collection or association. So people associated with Thando, othando. So for example, othando baye estolo. So that would mean you're speaking about people that are with Thando. So Thando and her friends have gone to the shops. Othando. If you are talking about Thando alone, you would say uthando uye estolo. Thando went to the shop. Miss South Africa usengu Miss Universe. Miss South Africa is now Miss Universe. Miss South Africa. So that's singular. Oh, Miss South Africa. Now that's talking about a collective. So people who are Miss South Africa. For example, Lee and Zozibini. Oh, Miss South Africa. So the plural shows a collective or an association. I could be talking about people named John. So, or John. So all the people in the world who are named John. Or I'm talking about the people associated with John. So maybe his friends or the people he works with, maybe in his team, that kind of thing. So if I say, oh John bade bonke, I would really be saying, All the people named John are tall. It could be talking about people associated with John. So if I say, oh John nabangani bakhe. So now I'm saying John and his friends. Oh John. So now do you hear that oh? It's a little bit of a high-pitched sound. Oh. Oh John. Oh John. Oh Thando. Oh Megan. Oh Archie. Oh Harry. The second category in class 1A is family members or your relatives. That falls into this noun class. So singular you would say umama. Plural you would say oh mama. So for example you would say umama usemsebenzini. Mom is at work. Or oh mama basemsebenzini. The mothers or our mothers are at work. Ubaba unamatekisi ayishumi nanye. Dad has 11 taxis. Ubaba, so it's one father. Now if I were talking about many fathers, I would have said oh baba. Now if I'm saying oh baba, I'm talking about people who are associated with my father or the fathers. So for example, I could be talking about my father and his brothers. So if I say oh baba banamatekisi ayishumi nanye, I'm saying my father and his brothers have 11 taxis. Oh gogo bayekohola impesheni. Oh gogo, so the grandmothers have gone to collect their pension. Umakoti. Umakoti means either the bride or the daughter-in-law in the family. So umakoti uhleli phansi. Umakoti, one daughter-in-law. So the bride is sitting down or the daughter-in-law is sitting down. I hope she is sitting down and resting, friend. The third category is foodstuffs. Now foodstuffs are u. So for example, let's talk about beans, tomatoes and onions. Beans in isiZulu is ubhontshisi. Ubhontshisi. That's singular. In plural, that is obhontshisi. So if I'm saying obhontshisi, I am talking about the varieties or the different kinds of beans. Obhontshisi. Utamatisi, one tomato. Otamatisi, varieties or different kinds of tomatoes. Uanyanisi, one onion. Many onions. Anyanisi, or the different varieties and kinds of onions. So here we apply the same rule as in the proper nouns. We are talking about a collective or an association. Uanyanisi uyakhalisana. Onions make one cry. Otamatisi abayizinhlobonhlobo batholakala emakethe. Otamatisi abayizinhlobonhlobo batholakala emakethe. Different varieties of tomatoes can be found at the market. The last category of 1A is borrowed words or mostly borrowed words. These ones, for example, udokotela, a doctor. Odokotela, doctors. Unesi, a nurse. Onesi, nurses. Uthisha, a teacher. Othisha, teachers. Upende, paint. Opende, different paints, different colors or different buckets of paint. Ujeke, a jug. Ojeke, jugs. Umpompi, a tap. Ompompi, taps. Umakhelwane, a neighbor. Omakhelwane, neighbors. But that one is a Zulu word. It's not borrowed. Umakhelwane wami uthanda ukubhema. Umakhelwane wami uthanda ukubhema. Yes, my neighbor likes smoking. Udokotela usizwa onesi. Udokotela usizwa onesi. The doctor is helped by nurses. Udokotela, one doctor. Onesi, many nurses. Uthisha ufundisa kahle. Uthisha ufundisa kahle. The teacher teaches well. Upende omhlophe muhle emakhabetheni. Upende omhlophe muhle emakhabetheni. White paint is nice on cabinets. Don't argue with me. Ojeke bamanzi basematafuleni. Ojeke bamanzi basematafuleni. The water jugs are on the table. So ojeke, plural, the water jugs. Ompompi bayaconsa. The taps are leaking. Ompompi. So just to recap, friend, class 1, the prefixes for singular are and umu. To make them plural, you would say aba or abe. And 1a, singular is u and the plural is o. So if you remember, class 1 was mainly personal nouns. Class 2 is non-personal nouns. So basically it is not people. So class 2's prefixes are and umu for singular and imi for plural. So let me make some examples for you, and I will also give you definitions of the words, and let's also make some sentences so that you can see how these words fit in a sentence in spoken language. Example number 1 is umuzi, one house. Umuzi. Plural, imizi. Imizi. It's the same principle as in class 1. You see the plural at the beginning of the noun. So umuzi, one house. Imizi, many houses. Umlilo, one fire. Umlilo. Many fires. Imililo. Imililo. Umkhumbi, one ship. Umkhumbi. Many ships. Imikhumbi. Umuthi, one plant or medicine. Imithi, many plants or medicines. So just a little side note, medicine traditionally comes from plants. So medicine in isiZulu is called umuthi. So if I'm saying I'm looking for cough medicine, I will say umuthi wokukhohlela, cough medicine. So another example is umbuzo, one question. Many questions. Imibuzo. Umthandazo, one prayer. Many prayers. Imithandazo. Umdanso, one dance or one style of dance. Imidanso, many dances or many styles of dance. Umculo, music. Maybe one type of genre of music or one style of music. Imiculo, many different styles of music. So let's make some sentences with these words. Umuzi wamamkhize mukhulu ingati imall. Umuzi wamamkhize mukhulu ingati imall. Mamkhize's house is so huge, it's like a shopping mall. Umlilo ungadlali ngawo, uyashisa. Fire, don't play with it, it burns. Umdanso engiwuthandayo ivosho. Umdanso engiwuthandayo ivosho. The dance I like is vosho. So you can then insert your own dance there at the end and say umdanso engiwuthandayo I running man, indoda egijimayo. And no, my friend, I cannot do ivosho to save my life, but it does look cute when the kids do it. Imithi ephilisayo itholakala enyangeni. Imithi ephilisayo itholakala enyangeni. Healing medicines are found from a traditional healer. Most nouns in the Zulu language come from verbs. I'm going to make a few examples for you of nouns that are derived from verbs that are in this class. Umshado, a wedding or a marriage. It comes from the verb shada, to marry. Umshado, singular. Imishado, plural. Umshanelo, which means a broom, comes from the verb shanela, to sweep. So umshanelo, one broom. Imishanelo, many brooms. Umdlalo, a game, comes from the word dlala, which means to play. So umdlalo, one game. Imidlalo, many games. Imidlalo yebhola likanobhutshuzwayo, soccer games. Umhlangano, which means a meeting, comes from the verb hlangana, to meet. Umhlangano is one meeting. Imihlangano, many meetings. Umncintiswano, which means a competition, comes from the verb ncintisana, which means to compete. A single competition is umncintiswano. Many competitions, imincintiswano. Mngani, I can improve your Zulu language skills, but what I cannot do is improve this channel without your help. Please subscribe. So let's begin with class 3. In this class, the singular nouns start with I or I, li, and the plural is ama, and sometimes ame. So let me show you some examples of these words. Izinyo, one tooth. Amazinyo, many teeth. Igeja, one garden hoe. Many garden hoes, amageja. Iphilisi, one pill. Amaphilisi, many pills. Ilahle, one piece of coal. Amalahle, many pieces of coal. Ifu, one cloud. Amafu, many clouds. Ihlati, one bush. Amahlati, many bushes. Ilanga, one day. Amalanga, many days. But also remember, friend, ilanga also means the sun. Ihlo, one eye. Amehlo, many eyes. You remember I said the ame, you don't usually see it. So this is where you would see it. Amehlo, many eyes. Now let's try and use these words in sentences. Amaphilisi kagogo lawa. These are grandma's pills. Xuba amazinyo, brush your teeth. So class number 3 is really that simple. Let's recap. The singular noun prefix is I or ili, and the plural is ama or ame. Class 4 of the noun prefixes. Let's begin. Asiqale. Class 4 singular noun prefixes is is and isi. The plural is and izi. Let's make some examples. Isikole, a school. Izikole, schools. Isifo, an illness or death. Izifo, illnesses or deaths. Isifundo, a lesson. Izifundo, lessons. Isihlalo, a chair. Izihlalo, chairs. Let's try and make some sentences so that you get a chance to practice. Izikole zivule ngoJanuwari eSouth Africa. Schools opened in January in South Africa. Izithebe zokudla. Food platters. Izithebe. Isihlalo sami siqinile. My chair is hard. Yes, it is. Ngicela isinkwa. May I please have bread? Isinkwa, or one loaf of bread. Izinkwa, many loaves of bread. Ubani isikhathi. Ubani isikhathi. What time is it? Isikhathi, time. Izikhathi, times. So if you're saying times that something has occurred or happened, izikhathi ekwenzeke ngazo. What also falls under this class of nouns is names of languages. So for example, isiZulu, isiXhosa, isiTsonga, isiSuthu, isiBhunu, isiNtaliyane, that's Italian, isiJalimane, that's German, isiFulantshi, that's French. So whatever language that you are thinking of, you will put isi as a prefix. So English in isiZulu is isingisi. Let's put these in sentences. Uchimamanda ukhuluma isi-Igbo. Uchimamanda ukhuluma isi-Igbo. Chimamanda speaks Igbo. Umama Winnie Madikizela Mandela wayekhuluma isiXhosa. Mom Winnie Madikizela Mandela spoke isiXhosa or spoke Xhosa. So what you would find, friend, is that a lot of us, we use isi even when we are speaking English, or even if we were speaking French, we would add the prefix isi before the name of that language. AmaZulu akhuluma isiZulu. AmaZulu akhuluma isiZulu. Zulu people speak isiZulu. Prince Harry ukhuluma isingisi. Prince Harry speaks English. That's number 4 of noun prefixes. It's really that simple. If you see words that begin with is or isi, you will then know that to make them plural, you would say is or easy. Class 5. Class 5, the singular is in or im, and the plural is isin or isim. Let's make some examples so that you can see what I'm talking about. Imbuzi, a goat. Imbuzi, so that's your im. So one goat, imbuzi. Many goats, izimbuzi. So do you see that? Im and izim. Indlovu, one elephant. Izindlovu, many elephants. As you can see right there, my friend, in, the singular prefix, and isin, the plural prefix. Indlu, one house. Izindlu, many houses. Incwadi, one book. Izincwadi, many books. Inja, one dog. Izinja, many dogs. Into, one thing. Izinto, many things. Imbobo, one hole. Izimbobo, many holes. Imvula, rain. Izimvula, rains. Sicela imvula, we are asking for rain. Kodwa hayi izimvula eziningi, but not many rains, because they are devastating. Into engiyithandayo ngeMalawi, abantu bakhona. The thing I like about Malawi is its people. Izinja zikamakhelwane zinomsindo, kodwa zinhle. Izinja zikamakhelwane zinomsindo, kodwa zinhle. My neighbor's dogs are loud and noisy, but they are cute. Inkukhu ibeka amaqanda. A chicken lays eggs. Inkukhu, one chicken. Izinkukhu, many chickens. Ingadi yami inezimbali eziningi. Ingadi yami inezimbali eziningi. My garden has many flowers. I have my husband to thank for that. And now we are on class 6. If you've missed the first 5 classes of nouns in isiZulu language, please click on the link above. For class 6, the singular prefixes are u and ulu, and the plural prefixes are izin and izim. Let's make some examples so that you can see what I'm talking about. Uthi, a stick. Izinti, izinti, many sticks. Now you see there, friend, this word uthi completely changes when it's in its plural form. We had uthi, U-T-H-I, and now for plural it is izinti. That's basically what happens with most of the words in this class. Uphondo, a horn. Izimpondo, horns. Uhlamvu, a leaf. Izinhlamvu, leaves. Ufudu, a tortoise. Izimfudu, many tortoises. Uphawu, a symbol. Izimpawu, many symbols. Usizi, sadness. Izinsizi, plural. Ucingo, a wire or a telephone. Izingcingo, plural, wires or telephones. Now a telephone is named after a wire, as in the wire that connects the telephone lines. Ucezu, a piece or a slice. Izingcezu, slices or pieces. Usiba, a feather. Izinsiba, feathers. Ulimi, a language. Izilimi, languages. Izimpondo zendlovu zinhle. Izimpondo zendlovu zinhle. A horn is upondo. An elephant's horns are called tusks. So elephant tusks are beautiful. Ucezu lwesinkwa, a slice of bread. We are now on class 7 of the noun prefixes. So class 7 is very simple. There is no plural, there is no singular. It is an uncountable noun. So the prefixes are ub and ubu. Remember the letter B, we say b. B as in ba, be, bi, bo, bu. It's implosive. So be careful not to say b. So let's make some examples for you. Ubuso, face. Ukhetho, an election. Uthando, love. Ulaka, temper. Uhlupho, trouble. Ubisi, milk. Ubuhlalu, beads. Ubudala, age. Ububi, evil. Ubuthongo, sleep. So as you can tell there, friend, these are not countable nouns. You don't have sleeps. Then there are a couple in this category that have an ubu. You don't actually say it. It would be grammatically incorrect to say it. However, you must know that there is an ubu. So for example, utshwala is in alcohol. Whatever type of utshwala it is, utshwala. But we won't say ubutshwala. And grass, utshani, also falls under this category. We wouldn't say ubutshani, we would say utshani, grass. But they fall under this class. So if you see those words, so for example, when we now move on to learning subject concords, then you would then know how to use them and which concord goes with them. So just remember that the nouns in this class do not indicate number. What we also find in this class are abstract nouns. So nouns that are formed from other nouns. For example, ubufundisi. Ubufundisi is teaching or preaching. It comes from the noun umfundisi. So if I say I am a teacher or I am a preacher, what do? Ngiwumfundisi. However, my work is ubufundisi. Ubuvila, laziness. It comes from the noun ivila, which means a lazy person. So laziness itself is ubuvila. So you drop the first vowel, I, and you add ubu, and you have ubuvila. Another one is ubuwula. Ubuwula means stupidity. It comes from the noun isiwula, which is a stupid person. So ubuwula is stupidity. Another one, for example, is ubukhosi, which comes from the noun inkosi, as in a king or a chief. Now, ubukhosi is chieftaincy or kingship. So some sentence examples in this class are Utshani buyasha. The grass is burning. Utshani buyasha. Uboya benja yakwa Obama buhle. The Obama family's dog hair is beautiful. Ubusela buningi. Ubusela means thieving. So there is a lot of thieving. Now that one, ubusela, it comes from the noun isela, a thief. Ubuvila abubuyiseli. Ubuvila abubuyiseli. Laziness does not reward. Ngiphethwe ubuthongo. Ngiphethwe ubuthongo. I am sleepy. Ubuthongo is sleep. So if I say Ngiphethwe ubuthongo, I am sleepy. We are on our final class of noun prefixes, class 8. Now class number 8 is similar to class 7. It is not countable, or it is not indicative of number. The prefixes are uk and uku and ukw. Let me give you some examples so that you can see how they look. And remember, they are not indicative of number. You cannot make them singular or plural. Ukudla, food. Ukufa, death. Ukugula, sickness or illness. Ukulalela, listening. Ukushisa, heat. Ukukhala, crying. Ukuphupha, dreaming. Ukuphosa, throwing. Now, these are verbal nouns, meaning they are derived from verbs. So, for example, the ones that I've just listed, ukugula. So, ukugula is the noun derived from the verb gula, which means to be sick. Lalela is a verb which means listen. Now, ukulalela, it is listening. Khala means to cry. Now, ukukhala is now the noun, crying. Pupa is the noun, to dream. Now, dreaming is ukupupa. To arrive is fika. The noun arriving is ukufika. The prefix uku is also used with verbs that begin with the vowel a and e. Now these, when you now want to make them a noun, you change. You don't say uku anymore. Let me show you how it works. For example, akha, to build, is the verb. So now when we are making this a noun, to say building, we would say uku plus akha. The second U of uku, that changes now to W, and we say ukwakha. Ukwakha. Another example would be aba, to distribute or to divide. Aba, we would say uku plus aba. That second U becomes a W. Now we have ukwaba. The verb ala, to refuse. If we are now making it a noun, we say uku plus ala. That is ukwala, refusing. Now the verbs that begin with the letter E are also the same. For example, eba, meaning to steal. Now uku plus eba is ukweba. The second U became a W. Ukweba, stealing. Ehla means to climb down. Now uku plus ehla is then ukwehla. I'm sure you're following now. Esaba, to fear. Uku plus esaba is ukwesaba, fearing. Now say the verb starts with the letter O. We drop the second U of uku. So for example, the verb osa, to grill or to barbecue or to braai. Now if you are making it a noun, we would say ukosa. So we say uku plus osa. We drop that second U and we say ukosa. To sin or to do wrong is ona, ona. Now, uku plus ona is ukona, doing wrong. Ondla is to support, as in supporting your family, but financial support. So, ondla. If you are now making it a noun, we would say ukondla, ukondla. We dropped that second U and we said ukondla. Opha, to bleed. You drop the second U of uku and we say ukopha, bleeding. So just to recap for class 8, the noun prefixes are uk and uku and then UKW. So we have words like ukudla, ukufa, ukosa, ukuphosa, ukushisa, ukuvuma, to agree or to consent, ukufa, to die, ukuthola, finding. That is it, my friend, for the noun prefixes. Please, 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 ngiyacela, practice this so that we can move on to subject concords. Now it's going to get interesting because you are now going to learn how to make sentences all on your own. This is your path to independence. Mngani, thank you for watching. If you found this lesson helpful, please leave a comment. Don't forget, you can take my course at zululessons.com.